What's going on, everybody? GemMint here with today's new comic book day reviews. It's Wednesday, October 20th, and as usual, I'm going to go through this week's comics as spoiler-free as possible, and we got a lot going on this week. First of all, make sure that you like this video, be subscribed to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss one. We got a big giveaway going on for our next subscriber milestone, and we're giving away a THOR premium format by Sideshow. Stick around to the end, I'll give you more details on that. And also, we are doing a live auction this Saturday. That's right, October 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Very Gary, Comic Tom, and Nick Barucci from Dynamite. We have everything from comic book runs, key issues. We have original art. We have omnibus, statues, a bunch of crazy stuff. I haven't done an auction on this channel for a long time, so I'm really excited for that. And speaking of Nick Barucci, if you or anyone you know is looking to sell your comic book collection, he's paying top dollar for collections right now. So shoot him an email to nick.barucci@dynamite.com and just mention comic book collection and Mint Collectibles in the subject so he knows what's going on, and try to work out a deal. If you're not looking to sell, but you're looking to buy, check out their website, dynamicforces.com, for all the latest comic books, including back issues, CGC books as well, variants, and more. And use the code GEMMINT10 to save 10% every time you purchase. So, first of all, let's go through the Joe Jusko variants for this week. If you guys know, I'm a huge Joe Jusko fan. The 1992 Marvel Masterpieces is what got me interested into comics as a kid, so I had to pick up all of these variants. So we have from X-Force 24, we have the Colossus variant. Always a great piece by Jusko there. We have the iconic Cyclops. This is the variant for X-Men 4. Some of these might be from last week and then from this week, the way that I've been picking up my books. Amazing Spider-Man 76 has the Green Goblin cover. Very nice. Iron Man 13 obviously has the Iron Man cover. Avengers 49 has the She-Hulk cover. A lot of them came out this week. And Trial of Magneto issue 3 has the Magneto cover. Thor 18 obviously has Thor. The Thing is for Fantastic Four 37. And lastly, we have Death of Doctor Strange 2. We have the Doctor Strange cover. So adding to my Joe Jusko collection, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these once I have them. I mean, I have the frame set. I don't know. I was thinking about doing something on the wall as well, but I don't know. It's kind of a lot of issues. Before we jump into this week's books, I have two books from last week that I got caught up on. I had to get the finale of Strange Adventures by Tom King. He's joined by Mitch Gerards and Evan Shaner. This is issue 12 out of 12 on DC Black Label. I don't know. I guess I understand the story he was trying to tell. I just wasn't really digging it. And it very much just feels like John Carter of Mars to me. And the wife feels like Deja Thoris. I don't know. It just feels like a ripoff to me. And maybe that's what Adam Strange was originally from DC. I'm not an aficionado of that. But I don't know. It just felt anticlimactic. Like it ended and it's like, okay, so? Cool. I don't know. I didn't really dig it. And then it was Justice League Last Ride, issue 6 by Chip Zdarsky. He's joined by Mendonca and Angiolini. So Last Ride was dope. I mean, all of these issues have been very big and battle heavy. It's the last ride. It's the last battle between Darkseid and Justice League. Some cool Darkseid stuff here, tying in with the Green Lantern Corps and Oa, and kind of figuring out what Darkseid's plan is and how he's going to end this huge battle. So in that sense, it's a fun story, you know, and I am enjoying it. You don't have to know a lot of DC history, and it kind of just is a self-contained what-if type of scenario. I'm having fun with it. All right, so let's start with the independents. With Image, we have Ice Cream Man, issue 26, and I am finally reading Ice Cream Man. Who's this by? Prince, Morazzo, and O'Halloran. You know, I read Haha, and I understand that each issue is a self-contained thing, and I kind of like the style. They're a little bit more on the depressing side, very real, but I like the writing style. This one is like, as you can see on the cover, this tree, and it's this man climbing down his family tree and kind of going back to like generations of addiction and how he was set up for failure and how can he succeed, and it gets really deep, like literally. So I dug Ice Cream Man. I can see why people like it. It's a little bit on the sad side, though. Another one from Image, we have Gunslinger Spawn, issue 1. I thought this was written by Donny Cates, man. This issue was not. I had to pull out my phone because I read this digitally. So Todd McFarlane with the script and plot. Elise Cott also helped with one of the short stories. Brett Booth on the art. But there was a couple of different stories here. So they've been doing this with like King Spawn and Gunslinger. You're getting like 4 or 5 short stories here. The first story looked like old school McFarlane, like the detail and the penciling. And I like the stories. It's a man out of time story. It's Gunslinger Spawn from, what is he, the 1800s, and now he's here. You know, he stole a motorcycle, he's trying to travel, and it runs out of gas. He doesn't understand why it's working. I had fun with it. It's an oversized. I think it's a little bit more on the expensive side here. Yeah, $6 book, which is a lot for a Spawn book. But I think it's worth it. I think if you have been amped up for this new Spawn universe, it doesn't disappoint. And then also, King Spawn issue 3 is out this week, and it's by Sean Lewis, Todd McFarlane, and Javi Fernandez. A beautiful looking book. The artwork is amazing. And we're in this story of Billy Kincaid's resurrection and how they're trying to make Spawn the King Spawn, and we see the plot. We understand how he's able to do that, and it ties in with Spawn killing kids and with this deceased child, and it's pretty epic. It's an oversized issue as well. Great artwork, interesting story. Spawn killing it lately. All right, there's actually like a lot of indies this week for me. Time Before Time issue 6 by Shalvix, McConville, O'Halloran, Oatsmay, Alehu, and I've been sticking with this book. I really liked issue 1. I liked like the ideas and the concept, and I haven't really liked issues 2 through 5, but I'm kind of back on board with issue 6. This one was a little bit more easier to follow. Time traveling, you have the syndicate, you have the people who are trying to escape and live a normal life in a good time period, and I like the details they put in this, like when people from the far future go to like the 1980s, like the air is weird to them, it tastes weird, it's hard to breathe, it's too pure, it's not what they're used to. So they have a lot of good concepts like that. The cover really ties into an awesome scene from in here that I don't want to spoil for you guys. So I'm glad I stuck with it. I'm not sure how long they plan to keep this one going, but you know, I do like it. I want to like it. And then since I had some time, I tried this book out, Ant issue 1, big premiere issue. This is by Eric Larson, and I guess what he did, reading like the afterword here, is I guess this was an original creation of like somebody who was in prison or something and did like a mini series. And I don't know how Eric Larson got involved, but like the cover is, you know, the cover looks like an old, you know, Silver Age Marvel book, and the character and the origins feel like that too, but this felt very amateurish from the art, from the storytelling, from the dialogue. I just wasn't digging it at all. I just had some free time. I read it. I couldn't get into it. And then from Dynamite, we have Purgatory issue 1. So Purgatory has been on my radar lately because PCS announced that they are doing a Purgatory 1/3 scale statue along with their Vampirella, along with Lady Death. So like Purgatory, I didn't know who that was. It was on my mind. And then I saw this #1 issue come out, and I was like, oh, perfect timing. Let me give it a shot. So first of all, I love her costume design. It's almost like a red-skinned version of Lady Death. And I like the issue. It was interesting. It's like she has these powers, and you have these girls doing a seance, and they're trying to trap her, trying to steal her powers. I thought it was interesting, and I'm going to continue to read Purgatory, brush up, because I'm sure the statue is going to be fire. Then from Boom Studios, we have Eat the Rich, issue 3 by Sarah Gailey, P.S. Bach, and Roman Titov. I've been liking this series since issue 1, and this issue, our main character who's going to be wed, or she's in love with this rich guy. He lives in high society. His family they're all super rich, but she finds out that they eat people. They eat their butlers or their servants when they're retiring, and it delves deeper into that. We find out how that all kind of happens and why it happens. And, you know, maybe, you know, does she decide to run, or does she decide to just roll with it? She has ambitions of being rich and powerful herself. So can she look past that? Can she get with the family tradition? So that all unravels here, man. And I thought it was great. And then last from the indie section here, we have from Aftershock, Beyond the Breach, issue 4, Ed Brisson and Damian Cusero. So this was also a very big revelation issue. Like our main character, the old kind of wizard-looking guy, we find out what his role is in this whole kind of merging of dimensions. And it's pretty interesting. You know, our main character finds out she's trying to save this little boy, get him to his grandparents, and man, that might not be possible anymore. So very interesting to see how this all transpired. And there is somebody from that other dimension, not big giant turtles or squid creatures or insects, but like an advanced human type civilization that's looking for our main man. So that all kind of comes to a head here. I've been having fun with this one. It's kind of like The Walking Dead mixed with Oblivion Song. I know it's 2 Robert Kirkman books, but it feels like those 2 books mixed together. All right, let's jump on over to Marvel. So I read this Phoenix Song Echo. I think this is a one-shot. This was another one. I had a couple early PDF copies. I wouldn't have picked this one up on the whim, but I had time. I got it early, so I read it. I'm not familiar at all with the Echo character. I don't know. How did I miss this character? I don't know who she is and how she had got this Phoenix power. But it's basically about her. I believe she is deaf, right? So she has to sign or something like that to talk. She has the Phoenix power, and she's having a hard time controlling it. It's causing kind of destruction and devastation, and it's not her will. She wants to tame it. So that's kind of what this whole thing is about. It was just okay. I mean, I just was not interested because I didn't really know who the character was, and it's kind of just like a one-off kind of thing. Same with this issue here. This is like the United States of Captain America, like it's another one shot. And this is basically like a Captain America team up. I don't see who the creators are, man. The cover doesn't have it. Anyway, everyone who has ever been Captain America teaming up to fight, I don't even remember who it was. I feel like it was Red Skull's daughter, but way different than like the Brubaker version. So I had some time to kill. I read it. Nothing to write home about. And then we have Thor. I believe this is issue 18. This again, this cover doesn't have the number. Issue 18, Thor, Donny Cates. I'm missing the big epic storytelling. I'm missing the Black Winter. I'm missing the Galactus stuff. I feel like this run has gotten so tame, you know, like he lost Mjolnir and he's enlisted Throg to help him find it. Throg has already been 10 steps ahead of him and is ready for the job. Come on, man. Bring us back that epic Donny Cates Thor goodness, baby. The Death of Doctor Strange, issue number 2. This is another one that's kind of like a self-contained little story. I mean, Doctor Strange shows up in some other books in here, and he's not dead, but he's dead in this run. And it's kind of fun to have like this Silver Age version of Doctor Strange who has been tapped, like, if I die, this is what happens. And this version of him that has a certain amount of time to be here is resurrected or whatever you want to call it to tend to Doctor Strange affairs and bring his killer to justice. So it's fun to have him with, you know, interacting with, you know, the Avengers, interacting with some of the Doctor Strange villains like Mordo, who is only there because he's the only one that deserves to kill Doctor Strange. It's kind of like whatever as well. I mean, I'm not really into it that much, and it feels like it's not going to matter. But we do have Doctor Strange speaking how he used to back in the day with the hoary hosts of Hoggith. And lastly, from Marvel, Trial of Magneto, issue 3. This is by Williams, Wernick, Messina, and Delgado. So, I don't know, Trial of Magneto kind of went off the rails. It really turned into an X Factor book, which is, I know, kind of what it's been the whole time. The Scarlet Witch showing back up in the last issue. She's here, and we find out what that's all about. It's kind of similar to the Death of Doctor Strange, to be honest. We still don't know who killed her. Even though Magneto confessed, it doesn't seem like it was him. It's confusing. It's very X Factor-ish, modern X Factor. All right, guys, then on to DC Comics. We have Nightwing 85, which is meant to be read before Batman 115. So Nightwing 85 is by Tom Taylor, Rodriguez, and Lucas. It was enjoyable. It's tying it to Fear State. It's really very much a Nightwing and Batgirl team up. The Oracle can't really be the Oracle anymore because of what's going on in the events of Fear State. So they're going out there. We have some flashback stuff. Not as strong as the non-tie-in version of Tom Taylor's Nightwing. So it's kind of suffering a little bit from being a tie-in compared to what it was. But the artwork was nice and some good relationship stuff between Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and Dick Grayson. And like I said, the end of that book leads into the backup story here for Batman 115. This is by James Tynion IV, Bangle, Jimenez, and Mori. And you can kind of tell that Jorge Jimenez shared the artwork on this book, and it kind of suffered for that, man. Some of the Poison Ivy stuff was not hitting, although the stuff that was Jimenez was on point as well. Feels like, man, nothing much is really progressing in this story here, man. The backup story with the Batgirls, I didn't even really see what the backup story meant. Like, why did it even matter here? I guess it's kind of putting the other two Batgirls in danger. What is it? Cassandra Cain and Stephanie. I'm trying to think of what happened. The only thing in Batman Fear State that I can think of is that Poison Ivy has kind of like a bigger role, it seems, in here. And the relationship between the Peacemaker 01 and Scarecrow kind of develops here as well. But yeah, it's moving a little slow for this event. Moving on, we have Batman Catwoman. This is issue 8 by Tom King and Liam Sharp. I've been becoming a big fan of Liam Sharp, and this is not his painted style like we see in Batman Reptilian, but I really do dig the Batman Catwoman run. I like the relationship between Batman and Catwoman, and we kind of see them in modern times arguing, and Catwoman is raunchy, man. She's really giving it to him. And then flash forwarding to the old woman Catwoman stuff and kind of her checking out her handiwork against the Joker that we've seen in the prior issue. So I like this one. It's 3 timelines happening at once, as only Tom King can do. And I do like the dialogue and the interactions between these characters. Sure, let's jump over to DC Black Label. I feel like this is like summer 2020 with this Joe Hill Hill House Comics stuff. Refrigerator Full of Heads, which is the sequel to Basket Full of Heads. This is by Rio Ewers, Tom Fowler, and Bill Crabtree. It was just okay. I mean, that book basically had like this enchanted axe that if you killed somebody with it, they wouldn't die. They could be decapitated or what have you. It looks like we have that going to continue here in a new storyline, but also some other weaponry that has other attributes that's been introduced. So I guess that's pretty interesting. I'm going to pick it up. I dug the Hill House stuff last year, and I like to support it. Moving on over to Shazam 4 of 4. Man, I'm kind of glad this little mini-series is over, by Sheridan Henry and Mayalo. You know, the beginning of this book, maybe even half to 2/3 of it, I was like, yo, is this the same story? I thought this was the story of Shazam. He's lost his power, so he had to go to the Rock of Eternity to figure out what's going on. But there was this whole weird Shazam Black Adam thing for like a majority of it, and then finally it tied into the main story. And yeah, they wrapped it up as to why he was losing his powers, and it gets resolved, and his friend Freddy that's sick in the hospital and all that stuff. So they should have just made that a part of Teen Titans Academy. Then we have Suicide Squad issue 8 by Thompson, Pasinka, Soy, Ferreira, and Mialo. So I like Ambush Bug. I wasn't familiar with the character before the last issue of this. I like his narration. It's fun and refreshing. It feels like Deadpool or Harley Quinn, but it's fun, breaking the fourth wall, speaking to you as the reader, tying it into Swamp Thing and to what's going on in Suicide Squad here. So kind of interesting there. It's very much just trying to give us more Peacemaker, I feel like. They're really trying to sell him as he's got the show coming out now and everything. But it was just okay, but I don't know. It's like the first book I read because I try to read the books I don't like as much first. So put it that way. And then on to my pick of the week. If you haven't guessed it, yes, it is the oversized DC Black Label Catwoman Lonely City. This was done by Cliff, is it Chiang? Who wrote, illustrated, colored, and lettered this bad boy. And I absolutely love this book, man. Loved it so much. It's in the future of Gotham. It's basically old woman Selena Kyle, who there was a Fool's Day. Something happened similar to like Joker War in this future, right? Fool's Day, and Batman is dead. Harvey Dent, Two-Face, is the mayor. He's reformed and helps get her out. And just her trying to get back on her feet in this world where things have changed. Her knees hurt. Her back hurts. She doesn't have all of her money. The building that she owns is pretty much destroyed, although she still has her penthouse there. It was refreshing. The art style was very much like, I feel like Art Deco style, if you will. Maybe like the smaller color palette, more flat type of artwork. Here, I can show you guys. Her interactions with Old Man Penguin and him kind of going straight as well. And all leading up to what the conflict is. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it flowed very well. It was interesting. And out of everything I read this week, this one stood out the most for me. Let me know what you thought about this week's comics in the comments down below. Like I said, we got the big giveaway going on for our 150,000 subscriber milestone. We're giving away the Deja Thoris premium format by Sideshow. And all you got to do is be subscribed, leave a like, and comment below. Once we reach that milestone, we'll go live, pick a random video where I promoted the giveaway, and use a random YouTube comment generator to draw a worldwide winner. I appreciate you guys watching, but don't go anywhere. Check out the top 10 comics of the week I did last week with Rock and Robbie, as well as last week's new comic book day reviews if you missed them. And stay minty fresh. Peace.